Having materialistic things in life is very, very important to some people. Now, I do have a lot of good materialistic stuff. That car, the black one, Hector's not mine, but this van is. And it's a really nice van. I have to admit that I was having a little bit of trouble starting it today for some strange reason. I brought my keys with me. In fact, I'd even bought a spare set of keys and an ignition tumbler barrel, so I was very prepared. But it wasn't really working. But you know, it's a materialistic world, and luckily I had more material. I had this car. Now, this is a very nice car indeed. And while we're on the subject of materialistic stuff, this is a great car. You connect the battery up, turn the ignition on, and I mean, this thing's not been started for 6 months, but hey, check it out. What an absolutely brilliant example of Japanese technology. The back tyre was fine. Unfortunately, the front tyre, that was flat. It wasn't as if I could get it anywhere anyway, because there'd been a rather large scrap out the front with the Snail clan, and one of them was very badly injured. So I had to go and get another vehicle, but it gave me time to think about, the horizon, and how it never ever drops from your eye level. No matter how high you go, there it is, nice and flat, and nice and level too. The ISS, International Space Station, they like the GoPro lens. They like to sort of really bend stuff. But, at the end of the day, you never actually see a single shot from something taken off from Earth and then landing or docking to the International Space Station. Anyway, I had to keep walking to find another vehicle. I've actually got a third one called Pubert. I don't like parking on double yellows, but I'm happy to walk on them. And using some of the indoctrination from my youth, I'd become particularly good at not treading on crocodiles, so that was always a bonus. However, the indoctrination of my youth concerning the globe wasn't something that was going to affect me nowadays. I mean, looking at this picture here, it's pretty obvious that we're on a flat plane. The horizon, it just doesn't ever drop from the eye level. Just look at these pictures. And look at this pile of crap. It looks like the sort of thing that I could have made on Blender in the first 5 minutes of ever using it. I'm just trying to keep a level head in that. So just don't get the wool pulled over your eyes all the time. I mean, KFC, I think it should be KFS, because it's definitely Kentucky Fried something. Yes, indeed, all the information is there for you. You have to accept that there's going to be a lot of people that really aren't going to go with what you're saying about this world being flat, and they're going to be really cheesed off. You're going to meet these people along the way, and they're not going to be very happy. But if you give them a little bit of time, you'll probably find that they yield and they will join you. Now here's a very nice high mountain. And look at that, nice and flat. So I proceeded to walk to get Pubert, which is my lovely third vehicle. As I say, I've done very well materialistically. I've got a lot of stuff, but I've still got the time to think about this. In fact, I've got more time because I'm not so worried about the materialistic world anymore. I can actually see that just perspective changes when you travel a distance. This sort of stuff seems very logical to me. I'm not into science theory, I'm into science fact. Now, look at this GoPro correction thing here. Come on, think about it. I beseech thee, please, have a little think about it. It's not all about materialistic things. Here is Pubert, my third chance, and on inspection he seemed to have a slight damp problem. But then I was very grateful because I'd created my own sort of environment for stuff to grow. So again, I had lots of good materialistic stuff. I had some webbing, so that was going to be very useful for catching flies and that, if I ever was peckish. And I also had some kind of sludge-like material on the floor, and an old chocolate bar, but it wasn't Friday, unfortunately. I had my booming Kenwood sound system. So literally I had so much stuff. So it was very easy for me to step out of the box, as it were, and start thinking about, you know, more important things in life, like, you know, is it actually a globe? Are we spinning around? I don't think we're spinning around, and I don't think we're on a globe. I think it's flat. I mean, look at these pictures. There's one of them that apparently NASA says is real. But come on, have a little look at that. And also, look at this. You know, we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. I mean, when you look at a train going along, the steam coming out seems to actually go back as it's moving, but there you go. I mean, something to think about. So really, it all comes down to your mental perspective. I mean, things like, for example, a corridor. If you look down a corridor, it slowly sort of disappears to the horizontal point, like this picture of a train track, which I made black and white to make it more impressive. So really think about it. You know, does the sun set, or is it just moving away? Anyway, I'd managed to realise that I wouldn't be driving anywhere today. So I decided that I would just go and relax, and I would actually enjoy some of the more finer things in life, which it's not so much materialistic because they're living creatures, and I very much love them, and I think love is very important. This is Weena, and she's beautiful, and this is Bolo, and he likes Weena, so that's good news. And of course, that's Scampy. He's hiding because he's just had a scrap with Bolo, who tried to come in. Bolo obviously ran off and is now cowering at the top of the stairs near the landing. Archie, or Pudgy Woodgy, he's fine. He's not fazed at all by Bolo, so that's great. And really, that's the point I'm making this video. You can have materialistic things, but really it helps to have a bit of knowledge, and it really helps to have a lot of love. And then you can sort of look out the window and you can look at this thing, and you can think, you know what? I don't think that's so far away at all after all. I think it's pretty close. So it's just all about trying to fight through the indoctrination of your youth. I remember Star Wars as a kid. I loved it. My first goldfish, well, my first pet was called Luke Skywalker. So I loved that stuff. And any film about space is generally right up there in the charts. It's promoted a lot. Everyone seems to love it. You know, we all want to go to Mars and that, but it's just a load of poo. So really it comes down to your own intelligence. What I mean is, it's much easier to fool someone than it is to convince them that they've been fooled. Now the question is, you've got to ask yourself, have you been fooled? Of course, if you're so clever to think that you haven't been fooled, then I suppose you can just assume that I am a fool that's ranting on. Because you're so clever and so smart that really I just can't compete with that kind of intelligence. Your intelligence has surpassed mine. I am just a bit of a numpty. But if you think that you're not as clever as you thought, then maybe you should look into this a little bit and give it a chance, because you never know, you might suddenly wake up somewhere a little bit different.